And Brian,
hey,
sorry for that.
And welcome to the Tatiana Show. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a special edition of the show because two reasons. Number one, I wanted to give you all a little bit of update on how the free Ross-A-Thon went. I have a special guest. I'm sure you'll never guess who it is to tell us all about it. And we've also got Jeremy Epstein here. Jeremy is on the screen with us. Hey, Jeremy, how's it going?
Hey, good afternoon.
Okay, cool. So Jeremy's going to tell us a little bit about this new book. I was featured in it. I'm very proud. And we've also got, of course, Josh, my faithful sidekick, compadre, friend, partner in crime, Josh from
Trusty
Baltoro.
Sidekick. Yeah, well, sidekick, you know, kicking me around. No, how's things? We were just on this great show, but I am so stoked to hear about this Ross-A-Thon that happened on the weekend. I am so stoked about it. We did our bit tweeting it out, and an amazing turnout, an amazing show. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Yes. Well, part of the essential part of talking about all these things is understanding what Bitcoin is. And that's what Jeremy has decided to do. He wanted to make a book that went out to a lot of different people. He sourced a lot of different speakers and famous kind of thought leaders in this space. So Jeremy, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved and what made you want to write this book?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me here. I really appreciate it. Big fan, long time listener, first time caller. No,
I like that phrase.
Yeah, so I've been in technology marketing for over 20 years now, and I'm passionate about bringing kind of disruptive technologies to the mainstream, especially when I get really passionate about their possibilities. And I don't need to explain to you or your audience how amazingly huge the potential of Bitcoin, crypto tokens, blockchain is. Like, that's obvious. But as I started to explore the space and see the technology, as a marketer, I was like, my heart kind of sunk, and I was like, oh man, like, this is bad. Like, marketing is really about putting yourself in the shoes of other people, understanding their worldview and communicating in a way that they're going to understand. And, it's great that we all have these technology discussions, but I was thinking, to get this to more people faster, which I think we all want, we really need to raise the conversation out from block sizes and things like that to things that really are going to help drive this industry forward. So I said, well, let's go out there and reach out to some of the leaders in this space. So I reached out and got 33 contributors. I call them the blockchain dream team, to offer their thoughts on what is it going to take? What are the challenges? What are the hurdles? What are the opportunities to help take blockchains as a technology to the mainstream? And it's not just everyone needs to understand what a blockchain is, but what are the things going that will allow these technologies, the applications, to become more commonplace? So it's not just saying, hey, Capital One is better than Chase. It's, no, you actually don't need a bank anymore versus this bank. That's a big paradigm shift. So what are we going to do? So that was the basic initiative, is go get people like Eric Voorhees, Naval Ravikant, Jeff Garzik, Roger Ver, people who have been in the industry for a long time, and sort of challenge them to present their ideas. So, put together a great book. We had some really great entries, and, it's been going out in a lot of discussion. And I'm hoping that this will get people more, not just thinking about the technology, but how do we take it to more people faster? So hopefully that answers your question. And obviously it was great to have you represented among that illustrious group.
Absolutely. So today you're launching it, and it's a free ebook. Is that right?
Well, we open source it, of course. Yeah, totally free download. Just go to neverstopmarketing.com/blockchain ebook, or search for blockchain ebook or blockchain dream team. You'll find it. Go get it. It's free. No gating, no email required, nothing. Just take it. I'm just all about helping people think about these issues, and hopefully it'll help, the rising tide lift all boats kind of idea.
So I hope that how is explaining blockchain to people that, previous colleagues and stuff, regular people, how has that been going?
Yeah, I mean, it's challenging. I'm still, I've been doing marketing for 20 years, and I'm still trying to figure out the best way to explain it. And again, part of it is know your audience. If you're talking to more technology person, you can go one way, whereas if you're talking to my sister-in-law, you have to go a different way. She's really smart, but you have to go a different way, right? So you have to kind of know that is. But the idea of like it's an internet of value, it's an opportunity to get more security, more privacy. Different people care about different things, and so you need to align your message around that. Are you a Bitcoin enthusiast because you hate the Federal Reserve, or are you a Bitcoin or a blockchain enthusiast because you like the idea of having more privacy, or you just like this, you don't want middlemen? There are different philosophies, and the art of marketing is, okay, this person, likes this person likes this. Let's message accordingly while being consistent, obviously being truthful and consistent.
Great.
I think, one thing that's really got under my skin over the years is the fact that people keep going on about blockchain though, instead of Bitcoin. Because for me, there's other altcoins and other cryptos, but I find people are very, very confused when I try to talk about Bitcoin and then I bring in blockchain and they're like, what the hell is blockchain? And because the best success I've had in explaining Bitcoin is saying Bitcoin, it's a money protocol on the internet, like email is an email protocol for the internet, and it's basically base money for the internet with no ruler, no government or no company behind it. And that's it. As soon as I start saying it's a decentralized ledger based on blockchain, and this comes all out of Tim Swanson's nonsense of being obsessed with blockchains without the token. But I really find this whole setback and obsession with blockchain has set back the marketing on that front. But maybe I'm totally in la la land and I'm not really seeing it.
Well, you might be totally in la la land, but I don't think it's for this reason. So I can't speak to the rest of your life, but let's just talk about this. We all might be in la la land and just going down the wrong rabbit hole. Like, I really like your analogy. In fact, I use the same thing. I actually just sort of take out a few things. I say, email is to the internet the way Bitcoin is to blockchain, just to help orient people. And I say, imagine being able to email money, the title to your house, the title to your car, to somebody else, and not have to sign 75 pieces of paper if you want to refinance your mortgage or sell it. Like, just being able to do it that simply, no middleman, no transaction cost, and you don't care whether the other person is using Gmail or Outlook or iPhone or Android, who cares? And they're like, oh, that would be cool. Like, that's the power. But I think it's important, I slightly disagree in terms of evangelizing blockchain. I've been in Bitcoin now. I call myself Bitcoin class of 2013. So not super, super early, but, relatively early, right? I think I bought it at 80, which is like that was the best investment I ever made, right? But now the IRS is going to come after me probably, right? But the point is I think it's important to help people understand it's not just Bitcoin. It's the blockchain is going to enable a whole set of applications. Bitcoin is just the first, and it's the best, and it's valuable, and it's something you should adopt and start thinking about because that will help you get head around it. But the same way email was sort of the first killer app for the internet, now we have browsing, now we have Spotify, now we have you name it. So you want that. You want that ecosystem to grow because as more and more people get comfortable with using systems that are decentralized, even though they may not think of it that way, then they'll be more comfortable saying, well, hey, I can have a decentralized social media network where no one's spying on me. Oh, wow, I can actually have a decentralized currency or an asset that I can use without people tracking me, whatever. That would be great. So I think it'll be sort of that virtuous cycle. And I think any Bitcoin enthusiast would want blockchain applications in other areas to grow because it'll naturally feed that back into Bitcoin and vice versa.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to be bringing on our special guest in a couple minutes. So I just wanted to give you a chance to tell people where they can get the book and find out a little bit more about you, Jeremy.
Yeah. So best way to go is neverstopmarketing.com. I like to say it's not just a company, it's a mantra and a way of life. But neverstopmarketing.com/blockchain ebook. So you can just go there. Like I said, download it for free. Go to neverstopmarketing.com and you'll find me, contact us, what have you, Twitter and all that good stuff. I'm all over the place. So yeah, that's the best place. And I'm always happy to hear people's ideas because I haven't cracked the code on it by any stretch. I'm as intrigued as anybody. And I sure would love people's input and feedback on the ebook. And Tatiana's in there with everybody else. So you should go read her entry because she's got one of the cooler ones, the only one talking about music for sure. So you should definitely take a look at that, and that's pretty neat.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for having me in the book. Thanks for coming on the show. I wish you all the best luck, and I really hope that we get to meet in person sometime.
It'll happen.
And we'll talk some more about all this blockchain, Bitcoin excitement going on in the world. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, Tatiana.
Yes.
You might be in that book, but I'm in the Bitcoin CPA's book. Did you know that?
Okay. You know what? You're very special. Okay. So now we're bringing on somebody truly special. My good friend, champion of liberty, best mom in the liberty movement, except for Gigi Bowman. She's also she's actually my liberty mom. You could be my Bitcoin mom or something. I'm not sure. Lyn Ulbricht. Oh my gosh, we can't believe it's her. It's so shocking. We are
Fantastic.
high off of this great free Ross-A-Thon, Lyn. I was a little nervous. You know, there were some expenses associated with the free Ross-A-Thon, and Lyn was saying, oh, I hope we cover our expenses. I'm pretty sure we covered the expenses, right?
I think so. And for some expenses to come as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how much this case costs to fight. But that freedom is so important. So tell us a little bit about what happened at the free Ross-A-Thon for the people at home that don't know what that is. Give me a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, well, this was the brainchild of Terry Brock, who I got to know through Freedom Fest, this great festival in Las Vegas. And he came up with the idea, let's just have a hangout and bring some people on to support Ross. Well, would we say metastasized? It really expanded into this incredible event that is sort of like a telethon. And some of you may be too young to understand what that was, but on TV, Jerry Lewis would do this telethon, kind of a marathon to raise money. And this was, we figured, called the free Ross-A-Thon. And it was 8 hours. And we were worried about having enough time to give each speaker enough time to really, their due, because we had such brilliant people on there. And we were so uplifted, not only by the donations, which were small and very large from all over the world, but also the show of support, because we had support all over the world from people sharing it, having parties and participating as a whole group, tweeting it. We had a whole many volunteer teams.
So many volunteers.
Plus a real core team that worked really hard, so dedicated. And it was just so uplifting. And also to have these speakers come forward publicly and say, we support freeing Ross Ulbricht, and this is why, and this is why you should care. And then bringing in a lot of value in terms of their own knowledge and expertise about the various, things that this case intersects so many areas. And it was a really interesting event. It had a lot of valuable content, and that's the feedback I'm getting. It's like on its own, it stands as valuable. It's like going to a really amazing conference, only there was no charge. And Ross, of course, we've talked to Ross, and he's just blown away by it all and so uplifted and encouraged by this. It's very easy to feel cut off and isolated in that place. He has no internet. And it's very easy to forget that there's so many people rooting for him. And so to know about this event, and he actually sent a message that I read during the event to people. It means so much to him and to keep him going.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I do.
Is it hard
to find that?
to...
No, I actually think I can find it.
Okay.
But unfortunately, when I was doing my introduction, there was all this feedback, and so it may sound really weird. I think it basically got across. But in any case, I'm still pinching myself about the donations and financial support, as well as the outpouring of support. It was just, it was amazing. And I think it really coalesced. And by having so many people in one place coming forward, And we could have, as Tatiana said many times, we could have done 12 hours. We could have done 15 hours.
Yeah. We had so many people, even at the last minute, that were really wanted to come on. I felt bad that we couldn't bring them on. But I don't know. It was very, very overwhelming. And it really extended beyond just Ross's case. It talked about the drug war. And this is a problem facing millions of Americans and their families. And it's actually an international issue because they're bringing in people that are violating U.S. law that are not even U.S. citizens with this prosecution of the drug war. And
they're seizing them, literally seizing them.
Absolutely.
Overseas.
So we got a chance to touch on that. And the bill was for the appeal paperwork, for the binding of the paperwork for the appeal. It was
printing and binding.
It was about $14,000. And our final tally was $23,500, which is crazy, way above the goal. But Roger Ver came on and offered to double that. Basically, he's matching the donations of whatever people did. I don't know what the cutoff time is.
Yeah,
we still need the final tally, but it seems like we raised over $40,000 to help with this extraordinarily expensive case. And I think that that's really an indication of just how much support. I mean, it's so hard to get people to donate to things right now with the economy being the way that it is. But so many people were watching. We had at least over 5,000 people watching at one time. So
no, we had 14,000 on Facebook, I heard.
We had a lot of people,
thousands of people. And I just want to, just to clarify about Roger, I'm really trying to confirm with him right now. We don't know exactly how much, where that is. So I don't want to say, oh, we have this or that, because we don't know. And I don't want to commit him to something he doesn't want to commit to. But it's a lot. And it's a huge show of support, which Roger has given us before. And he's incredibly generous. And anyway, so, and, you know, Cody Wilson's organization, his 501c3 is donating $5,000. And then, and also other people, you know, and lots of other people. So it's so amazing. It was just great.
Well, one of the nice things also was not just the people donating, but the speakers and supporters were also donating different swag.
That's right.
So people can actually use the store right now. It's at freeross.org/free Ross-A-Thon. Our friends over at Tokenly were trying out their new system. We had a little bit of hiccups, but it seems to be smooth sailing right now. And it's a nice way where people can donate, but also get something back for their donation. It's really good for the holidays right now. People are thinking, oh, what presents am I going to get? There's a lot of really great prizes still available for people, so they can go to the site and they can find out more. We'll be releasing the short videos. Now, there was also some significant news released last week.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I would like to. And it was right before this event. It just sort of happened that way. That it came to light. It was revealed that a database of the Silk Road Forum, a version that was in an obscure file, was discovered and shows very clearly that there was tampering of the evidence, that a big portion of the forum was deleted. And actually, we still don't have the whole thing because the database that was discovered stops in August. Ross was arrested in October, and that portion is missing. We don't have that. But what the defense has shows very clearly there was tampering. In addition, there was evidence brought to light that someone using the Dread Pirate Roberts login account to the forum accessed it 7 weeks after Ross was already in prison. So we don't know who that was. We don't know how often they did it. We don't, because it's only the last login that's recorded. But it definitely was on November 18th, and then the forum was closed down 4 days later. So this indicates, and there's no way to know how much more tampering there is, because you can't, you don't know what's been deleted. There is no trace. And how this permeates all of the evidence, in my opinion. What I'd like to say out there, if whoever's listening who might know anything more about corruption in this case or tampering, to please contact us at freeross.org. It can be completely confidential. But I personally am quite convinced. I was before this. Now I'm really convinced that there is more, and that we don't know. As Ross's lawyer said, we know the tip of the iceberg about this. Now we know a bigger chunk of the iceberg. But if this had not been discovered, we would not be the wiser. We would have no way to know, because that's what digital evidence is like. It can be tampered with, planted, deleted without a trace, as you know. And the fact that actually that anyone would be given any kind of sentence, but certainly a life sentence based on evidence this vulnerable, especially when there's evidence of tampering, is outrageous. It's a travesty of justice. And so then comes the Ross-A-Thon, and all these people standing with us against this kind of travesty was so heartening. And but anybody that knows might have more information, whether you're in law enforcement or not, or please help us here, because there is more, and it's wrong.
And folks, if you think this doesn't affect you directly, you know, we really are in a situation where the state apparatus or enforcement agencies are using digital evidence which can be totally tampered with and just submit that as evidence of guilt. And,
That's right.
And this affects every single person in a free society, every single person. So Ross's case is super important, not just for this young man, but also for general liberties and general justice.
Absolutely. And that's only one of the precedents that's of concern. There's the Fourth Amendment violations with the warrants for the laptop and social media accounts, where the government's saying if we seize a computer and we don't have to have a warrant for what's in the computer because it's digital. If they seized a file cabinet with files in it, they couldn't do that. They would have to say, I want this file. But they're saying with digital, it's not protected. This is enormously important for the digital age, because I would say most people now keep their files on a computer. So it's saying we give up our right to privacy because it's now digital and not written out on a piece of paper and put in a physical file. That is another issue at stake. Another issue at stake is the concept of transferred intent, which says that one person's responsible for the actions of another. In this case, a website host, but it also expands to, for instance, Federal Express was criminally indicted on the same principle because people used it to transport illegal pharmaceuticals. The U.S. government criminally indicted Federal Express. They did drop that case, but their efforts are to expand the criminal umbrella. So now I'm not only responsible for what I do, for what somebody over here does too. And so more and more of us are potentially criminals in the eyes of the United States federal criminal justice system. And it's very alarming. And there's more. I mean, we don't have to go for every precedent. It's on freeross.org, but there's some important things at stake here that will impact all of us going forward.
Yeah, I think one of the nice things that helped.
Go ahead, Josh.
I just wanted to mention the Alex Winter movie. I think, really, whenever I've told people about the case, I've pointed them at the movie, and they've come to me a week later and said, like, wow, that I really didn't understand the case. Now I understand it. Amazing film. I would very, very, very highly recommend it. It's The Deep Web by Alex Winter.
And, that's only got half of it, right? I mean, they should almost do it in two parts, because all the things that came out since the movie are also really, really wild.
Well, yeah, because, and Alex was on the Ross-A-Thon, by the way, and made some very good comments. One of his main points, first of all, is that he's spoken to high-level Silk Road admin people, and they all say there's more than one DPR, that it was lots of people were DPR. To put it on one guy is just ridiculous. The other thing he points out is that Ross is kind of at the conversion of so many different things: privacy, cryptocurrency, the drug war, and he's kind of taking this hit of becoming the poster boy for all these things. This is not right. And but in any case, it's very good, but it ends at the trial. Since then, the corruption, the 2 corrupt agents who are now in prison that had free run of the site and could do pretty much what they wanted and used it to steal over $1 million and are now in prison. They were not allowed to be mentioned to the jury at all. And that came out after the movie. The sentencing of double life plus 40 years without parole for not one violent charge, not one victim came forward at trial to say that Ross had harmed them in any way. And of course, it was digital evidence, 99% of it, which we've seen can be tampered with and created actually out of thin air. This sentence sent shockwaves around the world because it was just, excuse me, a life sentence? And for someone with no prior crimes, no record of violence, or it's more than most murderers get routinely. Or so that wasn't in the movie because the movie ended at the trial. And now this new evidence of tampering isn't in the movie. You know, it's like, so yeah, you're right. A sequel would be like, you could do a whole sequel on what's happened since. And it keeps on coming out, you know, it's like, yeah, when I think everything's done, then another shocking revelation or something happens with this case. And all of it points to the fact that Ross shouldn't be in a cage.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you shouldn't, you know, the amount of power that you put out there, Lyn, the inspiration that you are for many, many people that are going through a similar thing with children that are behind bars, not and innocent in a certain way, or have been overly punished.
Yeah.
You know, to see you really out there for years now, really pushing and always going harder, it really warms my heart. It's amazing to see. And I thank you so much for the, you know, on behalf of the freedom movement and the crypto movement, of all the stuff that you've done. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you, Josh. You know, it's really a privilege. I really see how important it is that we're at a tipping point in history right now. It's very, very important stuff. And that Ross's case could be used as a spotlight to show this it's an opportunity that I just have to take advantage of, not just for him, but for the bigger issues and the bigger causes. I mean, I go to the prison. I know the families. I see the devastation from over-criminalization and the drug war every week. And it's awful. I have left in tears because of little children that I've gotten to know and be very fond of that are devastated, clinging to their dads. And after their hour is up, you know, and talking to moms who said, my kids were straight A students until this. Now I can barely keep it together. 2.5 million children in the United States have an incarcerated parent. Over 60% are nonviolent drug offenders. What is going on here? This is a disgrace. This is the land of the free. This is absolutely un-American in the true sense of the word, in my opinion. And it's a rampant criminal justice system and that's using the drug war to expand their power and apparently make a lot of money. And in my mind, when you're making money off of human beings, how is that not human trafficking?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, how is it not human trafficking?
Yes, or slavery, either of the two. We're going to have to wrap up the show right now. But I did want to encourage people to go to the website.
Yes, please go.
Free Ross-A-Thon. Well, I guess they go to freeross.org/free Ross-A-Thon. Before we go, Lyn, do you think you could find that letter? I think people would like
look
to
for
hear
the
it.
letter, but also you can always go to freeross.org because that will continue and click on, oh no, then you add Free Ross-A-Thon. Tell you the truth, I have not been that involved in the tech part of this, and I'm a little.
I don't think the tech part is either of our specialties.
But please, you know, we always need help, even though we've raised all this money. Believe me, it's a kind of a drop in the bucket going on, but it's a very big drop. Don't get me wrong. I'm so grateful. It's wonderful. It's so expensive to do this, but also we need help. I'm technically pretty retarded, to be honest. I'm old, you know, come on. But also, you know, we need help with that. We need help with all kinds of things. And if you want to help and be on the team, let us know. We'll put you to work to whatever degree you want. I'm going to look for that letter real quick, and we'll see if I can find it.
All right, great.
Hold on.
Wow, what a woman.
One other thing while we're waiting for Lyn to look for the letter. So last week there was an article that went out in bitcoinmagazine.com that really kind of runs through a lot of this stuff, and it references something on Lyn's page, which is a letter that she received from Ross. And I think it's personally one of the most beautiful, moving pieces of writing I've ever read. Every time I read it, I choke up, and it really shows you the kind of person that Ross is, and also the importance of his character and the integrity that he has in a way that I think is very, very inspiring, and it will encourage people to maybe expect a little bit more from themselves. So I think that, if people go to freeross.org or if they go to Bitcoin Magazine, they can kind of get a little bit of an overview on that one. Lyn is searching furiously.
I got it.
Okay, because I really would like for everybody to get a feel for what's going on with this one.
Why don't you start reading this while
So for a magic word.
Oh, yeah, we should think of the magic word. I think the magic word should be...
Free Ross.
No, we've already done Free Ross. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Free Ross now. And then
Yeah.
if nothing else, this is a good mantra for people to keep in mind. Free Ross now is going to be the magic word, because our show, it goes out over multiple networks. We also want to be, Free Ross now is 3 words. We're not squishing them all together. Only the Free Ross-A-Thon is 1 word, which was a magic word at some point. And also I want to say a quick thanks to our sponsors, CryptoCompare.com and the BitcoinCPA.com. And to round out this show, we're going to have Lyn read this letter from Ross.
I want you to start reading it until I find the second page. It's on my computer, so just start reading.
Okay,
that.
great.
At the back, I went and wrote on it by mistake.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Ross here, writing from the federal prison in Manhattan. I wish I could be tuning in with you to hear what everyone has to say and get involved in the discussion, but I'll have to settle for this letter. I should get a copy of the comments and such, so if you have a message for me, just leave it there. My message to you is one of great gratitude and love. The past few years have been such a challenge for me and my family. The level of stress and anxiety feels insurmountable at times. Truthfully, I don't know if I'll ever get out. Will I end up like some of the old men in my housing unit that have spent more years locked up than not, or with my conviction or sentence being overturned, giving me a second chance? We just don't know. The future is uncertain, but still, I feel so blessed because you've always been there for me. I may have fallen, but I didn't fall far. You caught me, lifted me up, and carried me through this ordeal. Without you, I'm sure I would have sunken into despair, but with your unceasing love and support, you renew my hope daily and keep me focused on being strong and healthy and winning my freedom back. After all that you've done for me, I hate to ask for more, but we were surprised with a $14,000 bill just to print and bind the appeal for the judges to read, and at the time that we are really stretched thin. Anything you can spare toward paying it off would help so much. Also, a big thanks to those who volunteered their time to make this event possible, the speakers, and everyone coming out to show me support. I'm with you today in spirit, and God willing, I'll see you soon as a free man. For liberty, Ross.
Wow. Wow.
And I'll tell you something. That is a beautiful letter, but if you really want to feel something, you got to go to Free Ross and read that one letter that he just posted. It has an excellent introduction. I'm sorry.
Let me say it's the freeross.org and then go to blog, and it's the last entry on the most recent entry on the blog, and that's where you'll read it.
Great. So thank you so much, Lyn, for joining us. Thank you, Josh, for joining us.
Thanks,
thank
Josh.
you for Jeremy, and to all our sponsors, Bitcoin CPA, Crypto Compare. Please, if you can this year, go to free Ross-A-Thon go to freeross.org/free Ross-A-Thon. You still get some really great prizes. We would love your contribution. This is an ongoing effort. And of course, spread the word and hug and kiss your family and be happy that you could spend the holidays with them, because not everybody has that luxury. There are many people that don't. So be grateful for what you have. Thank you, everyone.
It's a great Christmas present as well. to
Okay.
donate. It's a great Christmas present.
Absolutely. Okay, so thanks
Josh.
everyone. We'll see you soon. Peace out. Free Ross now.
Bye.